So today, my name is Garrett Ansel, and today I'm going to be speaking about the psychic demolition and the GDR. And so, just for some context, the Stasi, or the Ministerium für Staatssicherheit, was created at the beginning of the GDR as a state security service. It had multiple functions, which included espionage, monitoring of citizens, and law enforcement. In the beginning of its history, the Stasi was employing harsh methods um, of punishments, including, like violence and um, violence and harsh sentences, prison sentences. But later on, they had an extensive network of informants. They used psychological manipulation, fear, and more to suppress dissent. This abuse of power demonstrates the danger of having a political organization of unchecked authority and the harmful effects it can have on society. And here on the right, we can see some pictures of some high-ranking members of the Stasi. I believe that number one was the head of the Stasi for like 30 or so years. And so, yeah. So the methods, so in the early days, there were the harsh punishments, as I said before, but the methods that we are going to be focusing on today are the psychic demolition methods, and specifically the ones that were used to build distrust between close family members and friends, and they created an environment where paranoia was normal, and it also used threats to uh, basically control the populace. And so this is a personal experience with the Stasi. His name is Mario. So Mario was a gentleman who had been caught trying to leave the country, so he was arrested and beaten by the authorities and then taken to jail. Fortunately, he had a friend in West Germany who was able to connect him with a program which would be able to pay for the release of his sentence, and he was able to get out of prison early uh, with a payment from the West German government. But as a result of getting out early and rumors likely spread by the Stasi, as well as manipulation of the people by the Stasi, his East German friends would no longer associate with him because it was thought that he was an informant. And then a different personal experience with the Stasi was Mario. Also, Mario, same guy. But they were trying to investigate him and his escape attempt. And so, whenever they realized that he wouldn't talk, they threatened him with the arrest of his sister, who had just given birth 2 years prior to his niece. And as a result, if she was to be arrested, the small toddler would be in the care of a children's home. And so, one of these methods, the splitting up families, the threats, was a tactic used by the GDR to force a confession. And that was just one of the ways of the psychic demolition. And another personal experience, this one was Bob. Bob had two prison experiences with the Stasi, which ultimately ended up costing him his marriage with his wife. And that prison time, it basically caused them to stray apart, which is just one of the many stories which can be told about Stasi breaking up families for the cause of suppression and total control. And later we'll go on to the effects of the Stasi breaking apart their family and its effect on his son. And so this is further insight into the methods. So the Stasi, or like I guess the result of the methods. So they were one of the least popular law enforcement organizations to date. The methods they used, from turning people against each other, threats to family members, to bugging home phones and tasking informants with citizen espionage, were all unethical and still have a lingering effect on people today. It is reported, I did some research from secondary sources, and it is reported that some people still believe or have anxiety about still being spied on by the government in Germany. And it's one of the many reasons, it may be a contributing factor to why privacy is such a big issue, such a big talking point, and such a big value in Germany today. And those who lived under its overbearing control struggle with anxiety and PTSD, according to Atlantico. And Bob's son actually has lingering trauma from witnessing his father being whisked away to jail and not being able to do anything about it. And Bob said that his son is actually still very quiet to this day and mentions to him why he couldn't do anything about it. And so it's just many of the stories like that with the psychic demolition that really beat down the people and caused them to just, listen to the government no matter what. And so, as part of my conclusion, I included this little photo with some um, definitions and some insights on totalitarianism, propaganda, manipulation, and corruption of power. And so, by attempting to control every aspect of life in East Germany, the Stasi harmed the population, causing long lasting trauma and splitting up families. I mean, we can see it from the stories of Mario, where, his sister was at risk of being separated from her child if Mario didn't speak up. And then also, Mario lost his East German friends as a result of the Stasi actually manipulating his friends into believing that he might have been an informant. And so this infamous legacy serves as a reminder of the negative consequences of authoritarian regimes. By learning about the Stasi and its impacts on East Germany, we can work to recognize and protect civil rights and demand accountability within any political organization, but especially one which tries to infiltrate our homes. And I also made sure to include a picture of East German protests, and it shows that it's really important to get out there and protest if you're not happy, because nothing's going to happen unless you demand accountability.